Hey, welcome back. It's a Woman Wednesday on Liquid Lunch. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. We're coming here today as we do every single day live from noon to 2 Eastern. Today is unfortunately the second day of impeachment. If anything good is happening down there, we'll bring you all that and more. But there are a lot of things happening around the world, all kinds of breaking news. And let's go over to Frankie and see what's breaking, what's cracking.
All right, let me call your attention, John, to a program that you often start your mornings with, and that is MSNBC's Morning Joe.
Morning Joke.
Yes, they had on former Vice President Joe Biden, who of course is running for president, and he was in rare form. People at home will recall that Joe Scarborough, the host of Morning Joe, was formerly a congressman from Florida. Great state of Florida. This is what Joe Biden said in his interview with Joe Scarborough this morning.
The Republicans you represented down in Alabama, they're being in a position where they look out there and say, hey, wait a minute, man, why am I paying?
So that's right. He again confused the state of Florida with the state of Alabama. Innocent mistake?
The guy, it's not an innocent mistake. The guy, he doesn't know where he is sometimes, and other times.
Or where Joe Scarborough is.
Talking about hairy legs. But yeah, on the morning joke front, I just want to tell you, one thing I picked up this morning that was really aggravating me. You got the President of the United States over at Davos, the World Economic Forum, okay? And I'm watching Morning Joe, which I do every day to get my juices flowing and know what I want to come on here and flip out about.
Well,
right?
John, I mean, I know Mika's attractive, but is that really the kind of conversation
it's not Mika.
In the middle
Trust
of the day?
me on that, okay? That's not it. But what did aggravate me is this. They go, oh, the president's holding a press conference over in Davos. If he says anything interesting, we'll go to that. So he had Morning Joe with our president over at Davos, with all world leaders, economic leaders from all around the world. The president's coming to the microphones. The president of the United States of America, major news media channel says, if he says anything good, maybe we'll go to it. Okay? So I flip to Fox. There it is. Every channel I flip to, there's the president. There's Larry Kudlow. I go back to this Morning Joke show. And they got some guy on there. I don't even know who he is, who wrote a book about Trump, and where's the equality in media when if Barack Obama went to the bathroom to take a leak, they would cover it wall to wall. But Donald Trump's in Davos at the microphones, and MSNBC doesn't even have a minute to bring America coverage of what he's talking about. And he had the head of the WTO, the World Trade Organization, there. The guy was very complimentary to the president. He also had Larry Kudlow with him there. And Larry Kudlow was talking about all the great numbers that we have, all the great things that are happening in our economy. And it's just a shame that these other channels that are supposed to be news channels are so biased that they can't even cover our president when he's on the global stage. It gets me mad, Frank. I mean, if Obama was there, they'd be covering it from the time he got out of the car until he stopped talking and afterwards.
Well, in non-MSNBC related news, the coronavirus death toll has doubled to 17 as more than 470 cases of this mutating bug have been confirmed. And there have been more than 500 cases of the killer strain confirmed, 471 cases in China, 4 in Thailand, 2 in Hong Kong, and 1 each in the United States, Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan. And now that it has made its way to the United States, a lot of people are concerned about the neighborhood around the corner from us, where I go, on a regular basis, Chinatown, that we could soon see an outbreak of this coronavirus in Chinatown.
I just think it's another one of these things where they try to spread panic, fear, and hysteria. Coronavirus, I mean, is there going to be a fall off in Corona beer sales now because people think it comes from Corona? I mean, could they come up with a better name for it than the coronavirus?
Well, people may think John is jesting, but naming these ailments and illnesses and viri is important. On a former program that you did, actress Christina Evangelista said that the swine flu was caused by people eating pork, and she was forced to not only issue an apology, but talk about how extremely irresponsible that was. And so I don't disagree with you. I don't want to see a company like Corona hurt by this virus.
No, I'm saying if you're getting caught up in any of this crap, it's like here in America when a few people got sick and died from these vapes. I know there's not a lot of science out there about these vapes, but the American government dives in and says we have to ban vapes. They're going to be illegal and this, that, and the other thing.
Jersey did that yesterday.
Why do we have to jump to these conclusions? 6 people died, 400 people have been infected. It's not a major epidemic. What you're doing is you're causing panic among people. You're causing anxiety among people. I'm tired of these things. They mean nothing. We see all kinds of these little biotech stocks are shooting up 5 points, 3 points, 2 points that have different lung and respiratory things because it might be the cure for that. Don't get caught up in any of that. I say this. When you're hearing about all this crap, I say namaste. Stay calm. You're going to be fine. Instead of worrying about the coronavirus, pop open a Corona, twist a nice fresh lime in there,
yes,
and kick one back.
Very
and forget
nice.
about all this nonsense.
All right,
That's what I think it is.
Speaking of nonsense, John, you know that's what I think of a lot of these presidential polls on a regular basis. But there's a new Monmouth University poll that shows Mike Bloomberg now polling in 4th place nationally among Democratic voters, behind Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and Joe Biden. Not necessarily in that order, but
so he's in 4th now.
4th place.
He's ahead of Buttigieg
Nationally.
He's ahead of
Klobuchar. According to this one poll.
Yeah. And I know how you feel about polls. They're usually bull. I feel the same. If you go back and remember to the 2016 election, just about every single poll, except John McLaughlin's poll, said that Trump had no path to victory. There's no way Trump could win. Every poll says so. Blah, 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 blah. All this crap. Polls don't mean a whole heck of a lot. We talked about it yesterday. There was a Gallup poll out that said 51% of Americans do not favor impeachment and removal for President Trump. So that, to me, is a plurality. But Frankie said it right. These polls, they don't really mean much. They're all swayed in different ways. They select the groups that they want to put in them. There's a crazy margin of error. So don't get caught up in any of these polls. Mini Mike is spending more money, or on pace to spend more money than anyone ever. And I don't think he has a chance.
All right. Well, speaking of polls, one anonymous Oscar voter told the Daily Beast that the film 1917 is going to win big at the Academy Awards this year, as will The Joker. And they say the problems about diversity are overblown. I know you have a pair of Actri sitting next to you shortly. I'd be curious for them to weigh in on that as well.
That's right, we do. It's Woman Wednesday, and we got the best women around. We got Zen Sams, actress, model, and super mom coming up next to talk about the Weinstein trial and diversity in Hollywood. And also Christina LaRose is going to be here right after that. She's an actress and a model and an entrepreneur as well. So it's a whopper of a Woman Wednesday, and we got all kinds of surprises coming your way. Stay right there. You're watching Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV.